Sweet Adamono TV. News at first hand.
They came begging.
Who came begging?
They.
Who is they?
They came begging that the woman could not stand the scrutiny. So we just let her go.
Sincerely.
I've just answered you.
But
have you also realized that the nominees sometimes go round, take a long time in answering a single question? They themselves waste their time. It's not that you spend 3 hours on the nominee. The nominees themselves, sometimes they don't take a cue.
But the decision not to ask a single question of the Greater Accra Regional Minister nominee was not the best. Why did you not ask her any question?
If you ask, problem. If you don't ask, problem.
But if you're putting the same hat on one person, put the same hat on so that the cotton bowl doesn't jet.
If you ask, they came begging.
Who came begging?
They.
Who is they?
They came begging that the woman could not stand the scrutiny. So we just let her go.
Sincerely.
I've just answered you.
But has that done a service to the people in Greater Accra region?
You should judge it.
If the minority
at least
folded on that request.
No, we decided to let it be. But their side should have asked questions.
So why did you allow that plea to hold?
Well, they are begging that the person cannot stand the heat.
So on this particular stance, you yielded?
Well, because obviously she's a widow. She's not, they say she's a widow. They say the woman, cannot stand the scrutiny, had some other challenges. So we let it go.
On this matter?
After all, she qualifies under Article 78. So we let it go.
So if someone comes expecting that same consideration, would that be extended? Because the argument is that Accra has a myriad of issues, and this was the opportunity to really gain her insights into how she intends to make things better. Your administration committed a lot of time and resources towards making Accra a certain way, and I would have expected that you would want to know if some of those, at least, policies would have been continued.
Well, let's give it time. As a regional minister, there would always be an opportunity to come to the House floor to answer questions. So let's give it time. The fact that we were lenient on a matter does not mean that the door is shut. I'm sure.
What opportunity will we have again to?
No, question time.
To probe.
No, question. Parliamentarians ask questions. We file questions. We file questions to allow for accountability, to allow her to come to the House floor to let us know about the policy direction and all. So the door is not shut.
Do you think it's a missed opportunity?
The door is not shut.
Okay. Let's move on to other things. Today we are looking at a parliament that has almost a landslide in terms of numbers. The concern over the tensions continue to brew. What do you think can be done? And I've talked about what the issues that you've had with the Speaker and the leadership. You've described Honorable Muhammad Yaraga's leadership as a real, democratic approach. What should be fixed?
Thelma, I would be as objective as possible. I know that the work of a majority leader is to engage more, do behind the scenes talking, so that the final outcome becomes smooth. I've been there before. And in my remarks, when Mr. Yarga and his team were appointed, I told them that the peace of the house will materially depend on them. So far, Mr. Yarga as majority leader, he's been reaching out. And I find that very exemplary. I cannot say that for others, who I believe that through their aggression, they are creating problem for the work we're doing.
Would that include Mr. Roxon?
We started very smoothly. We started very smoothly. Things were going well. They've been attacking their own chairman on social media. That the chairman is weak, the chairman is allowing Afenyo Markin to dictate to him. And you see, let us also be careful how, as politicians, we allow social media to dictate to us how we should conduct our affairs. Some people go on social media and throw some things out. And as a result of that, they make things difficult for otherwise a peaceful understanding we've had. For me, criticism hasn't started. Government hasn't done anything anyway.
When are you going to start? You say you haven't started criticizing the government. So when,
have you heard me criticize them on anything?
When are you going to start? Because some hear some of the questions.
Listen, the government is not even a month old. We saw President John Dramani Mahama in on the 7th. Today is 3rd. It's not even 7. At least a government needs 800 days or 120 days. We need to see them roll out their policies. We need to see how the government's thinking pattern is. These are things that I am watching. Then after that, we know what to do. We've not even formed the committees of parliament. They've not finished the appointment. For me, they must be done first. We see action. We are seeing some movement. Today they are forming committee. They are not owning up to their own policies. That is one asterisk I've made.
They are not?
I will talk about it at the right time. I want to see, it's in full 360. Today, a committee here, committee there. The question is that, don't they have a mind of their own?
Setting the tone for discourse and engagement and
we are watching that space.
Relationships.
They have not finished all their nominees. They need to swear them in. We're waiting for deputy ministerial nominees. We need to finish it. For me, that's the posture I've taken. Let the government form. Let them finish with the appointment to the state institutions. Let them get done. Then we know that within the 120 days, they've not brought their first budget. President Mahama hasn't come with the SONA. He's supposed to address Parliament. All these are to be done in the first quarter. When this is done, then we know the path we are going to take. So I would continuously urge upon my colleagues, they should allow their leader to engage. They should allow the chairman to engage. They should not come in with full soldiers saying that, they are under pressure from their full soldiers. As for the vetting, we have to do it. As for the scrutiny, we have to do it. If I get nominated tomorrow, I'll go through the same thing. I can't run away from it. But it doesn't mean we are not friends.
Across our social media platforms, we are streaming at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and on GTV Ghana. Lots of comments there, Honorable. And some of the questions perhaps I'll put to you so we see what your response will be. Green, Echo Media loves your comments about if all men find a man's hand in a tail, guilt must be proven. Atia is asking, how about how relevant are your questions and not about, it's about how relevant your questions are and not about the number of questions. Questions has no burden to us as a citizen. So I guess Albert's point is the relevance of the question is more important than the number of questions. But
you also realize that the nominees sometimes go round, take a long time in answering a single question. They themselves waste their time. It's not that you spend 3 hours on the nominee. The nominees themselves, sometimes they don't take a cue.
Gilbert thinks that you are taking the vetting too personal and you are using the vetting to clean Akufo-Addo. And he says that they know the games and they see that after the vetting, there will be no need for you guys.
We ask policy questions. We ask questions on their CV. We ask questions on their own track record. So, Thelma, isn't it okay to find out about a man's track record when he comes into public office? Some of them have never been ministers before. Some of them from school have not done any work in the private sector or have no public service experience. Is it wrong to ask those that have a proven track record? You realize that the engagement is different. For instance, the trade minister who has been Minister of Tourism before, I never asked her a question. Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare, I didn't ask her a question. She's a senior lawyer, a respected legislator, has been a former tourism minister. She answered all the policy questions that I had in mind.
So it's not different strokes for different folks.
She distinguished herself on the issues.
There's no set of rules for one party and another for others.
Yes, there was no point. And as leader, mine is also to fill the gaps. Okay? If a person has answered the policy questions, why do I take the person through another scrutiny?
Okay.